Thank you very much, Joe and Kobe. Cloud9 didn't really put up much of a defense there in game number 2 of the series. So momentary celebrations, of course, as 3 of the 4 analysts did predict OMG to actually secure a win there. I want to go back to picks and bans. I want to talk about OMG's team composition. I feel like it was super well thought out. They had elements of siege, they had elements of poke, they had ability to defend, they had wave clear.
And Alan on Thresh.
Alan first pick Thresh again. Yep. I really feel like he is a stand-up performer on that champion, and I just really don't know if Cloud9 had it together from picks and bans.
Yeah, a couple of things in these lineups. I do like that C9 went for the Lucian Karma lane. I think it's really strong. I'm surprised that Sun actually ended up picking Twitch. Although Thresh Twitch, in my opinion, is really iffy to play against Karma Lucian. And if that 2v2 matchup would have happened, it could have gone into Cloud9's favor. However, the early game, initially, it seemed that Cloud9 was winning out, but the way it ended up playing out was so much in OMG's favor. Twitch got free farm, Cloud9 had the tools and the option to initiate either a 3-man push, send Karma back to base, and hold the respective 3-man push on the other side of the map, or even go for a full flat-out 4-man push, and they just didn't do it, and I'm really surprised why they did not do that. It ended up giving free farm to Twitch on bot lane. In the mid lane, Ziggs was bullying the Orianna lane. Sadly, we didn't have the fake performance there, just dodging all the bombs, and it just showed that OMG got everything they wanted, and then they played out the game beautifully.
Yeah, to hop on that for a second too, I really think that having Meteos go back into the jungle instead of pushing early was somewhat of an error, especially when you're going to go ahead and give that blue buff over to Lucian. I actually love giving blue buff to Lucian in a lane swap situation, because the great thing about Lucian, of course, is his passive, where if he can constantly spam those abilities with lower cooldowns, with getting the mana regen, you can proc his passive more often to really push down a turret surprisingly quickly. But instead, they used it to basically tie the tower race, and they chose to have Meteos go back, try and get a CS advantage with Kha'Zix, but they really couldn't actually make any plays after that.
And actually also the whole Kha'Zix one here, it was one of the first times it was left open for Meteors. And I think the reason Cloud9 didn't ban the Thresh was because they wanted to let first pick go to OMG here. They could first pick the Thresh, and they could get 2 very strong picks like both Lucian and Kha'Zix. However, for them, the fact that Pantheon was a jungle option for Pomelo here, and he didn't even mind giving away the Kha'Zix, was an issue. And we actually have a replay, we can just bring it up on our screens here, where we really see how good OMG and Pomelo is when it comes to playing Pantheon as well, and how confident they are. It's a champion everyone in LPL actually uses because it's so good at engaging these fights here. And first thing we need to notice, however, is the wave clear from Ziggs. We talked about it so many times, how annoying it is to play against. If we just roll the clip, it's a very big wave coming in here. Cloud9 actually starting the push, forcing Go going the wrong way around here so he can't defend. Ziggs ultimate though, everyone has to back away. It's very annoying and very effective. However, though, here's the fit. Notice the Pantheon ultimate. There's 3 members from Cloud9 and only Go going and Pomelo going down. They're 2 versus 3. But they're so confident in this, and because Sneaky has no summoners at this point, they just go straight for him. Ziggs then joins in, Alan joins in. Link here, if you notice him down on your minimap in the end, he should actually just stay at mid lane and take the tower. Miniwave already hit down to the tower. He tried to move out and help his team, didn't work though.
You brought it up a little bit already, but I do think the cornerstone of this composition, aside from Alan's Thresh, really is the Ziggs. It's so C9's bread and butter is rotations, and the normal laws of rotations don't apply in a game with Ziggs in there, because I've had this happen to me. You force them in a lane and then you rotate through the river and you said, I'm going mid, and then you realize Ziggs has infinite amounts of wave clear. Then you go back to your bottom lane and say, let's siege this tower. No, he'll just throw his ulti out. It's so impossible to play against it, like rotation-wise. Maybe that's the reason why C9 didn't want to go for this lane swap situation where Ziggs would end up like evening it out, but it's such an annoying champion to play against.
Great picks and bans from OMG. Great decision-making. Cloud9 unfortunately not delivering in the semi-finals. Freak, can we get some closing thoughts now about OMG, knowing they are in the finals, potentially looking at an All-Star Paris 2014 title?
Yeah, so basically it's interesting because they pulled so much attention onto Xiang. He got 3 bans, both games, still got Ziggs a champion he plays a whole lot and did a great job with. And then, of course, it just left open the rest of the team. And I know you guys have talked about SKT saying, well, you can shut Faker down, but the rest of the team will excel. Well, we saw the same thing here. You focus your bans, you get some picks away from Xiang, and, well, Alan gets gigantic. Or Going goes into a bad top lane matchup both times, Jax versus Shyvana, and Shyvana versus Trundle, and both times he comes out ahead and makes the team fights work. So you've got a whole all-star crew of great players, and when you let them play a team fight composition where they show up as dudes and fight you, it works out for them.
And just credit to OMG as well for changing up the things. The last game here, even when they ganked top lane, Pomelo instantly moves down to the dragon. It's actually where they baited out the fight, which gave them the big lead. So in general, it's just good to see them change up the things and not just run around the map, focus on getting kills, but actually really going for objectives as well.
Well-deserved victory by OMG. I believe that we are ready for the post-game interview. Shox is waiting with Sun